Okay, students, so we are now officially in lesson number 14. Let me officially welcome all of you into the class today. My name is Mr. A.F. Gabriel, and this special holiday program called Robotics and Coding is brought to you by Africa Teen Geeks in conjunction with the Department of Basic Education. We are nearing the end of the session, and I know all of you are going to be very sad that we are almost coming to the end of these classes, but I trust that you have learned well, that you have remember, our aim is not to officially teach you how to use this coding concept in MS Aura blocks. It's more to introduce you to what it's going to be like. So now you have a feel of what's going to happen when you, or if you decide to choose this as a course in your school, when your school decides to introduce it to you. Right. Remember also, you've got access to MS Aura in the internet. Nothing is stopping you from fiddling around and carrying on and doing things, even if it's not yet coming into your school. You'll be very much more prepared when that time comes. Right, now let's get through some announcements for today. Right, first I was telling you about the program thing for tomorrow, so I did share my email address with you on the chat, and what I want you to do is you can email me. Even if you want me to check out if you're not sure what your game is like, remember I said it doesn't have to be involved, and we're not going to compare each other's games. We're not going to compare yours to the other one. Okay, anybody who demonstrates something deserves to be congratulated on what you've done. So don't be shy, right? But if you're not sure and you want me to have a look at it first, then you can email me a link or email me your code, and I will reply to you. I did reply to somebody who emailed me yesterday, so you know, feel free to do so if you want me to check that out, right? Okay, so that's for tomorrow, right? I will tell you if you are going to demo your project, so you'll know in advance if that's going to be the case, right? Okay, now another good thing for you. Tomorrow is also going to be a very special session, and I'm going to show you the next slide, because after our class tomorrow, um, oops, sorry, after our class tomorrow, uh, well, we'll finish at 2, but then at 3 o'clock, this very special session is taking place. And we've got two very special guests that will be joining us in the chat room at 3 o'clock. Okay, I'm gonna show you the link now. I'm also gonna post the link onto the chat. I think that is it. That's already been posted. Oh no, it's just been posted to me. Right. Okay. So, who are these two people? Firstly, Marion Croak. I wonder if she's familiar. I think you're too young. Marion Croak is one of the people who created what we call VoIP. Now, I don't want to go into the details of VoIP. VoIP is part of what we call telecommunications. VoIP. It stands for Voice over Internet Protocol. And to explain it simply, it is a set of rules that computers use to communicate with each other over the internet. So it is VoIP that makes what we are doing right now possible. It's VoIP that makes WhatsApp and all the social media platforms that you have in which you can communicate with each other. It makes that possible. The fact that you can call somebody from your mobile phone on a messaging service is all because of VoIP, VoIP, Voice over Internet Protocol. And the creator is going to be with you tomorrow at 3 o'clock. Can you believe how lucky you are? Please, you are most welcome to share the link. You'll find that the link has been shared on the chat right now. So click on that link about 5 minutes before start of session tomorrow, and you can join us with Marion Croak. Now we also have with us a representative from the minister, and that is the Minister of Communications. Right? Remember, all of what we're doing now is, and all these online classes is all about telecommunications. So from the ministers, from the Office of Telecommunications, we're going to have the Honorable Stella Debeni Abrahams with us as well. And she's probably going to chat with you about all the latest technologies that are happening in South Africa at the moment. I'm not sure if there's going to be any opportunity for you guys to talk or chat or answer questions. I'm not too sure, but just join tomorrow and all the direction will be given to you. So that's going to be pretty cool, right? Okay, so this is the link to that, but it's already on the chat. So all good. You can copy that, and we'll see you. Oh, I'm sorry. The time is switched now to 2:30. I thought it was 3, but thank you very much for reminding me. It's 2:30, not 3 o'clock. So just before 2:30, our class ends at 2. So you don't have a lot of time to get yourself ready for that class. Remember, anybody can join in, sit around the computer. You can share the link with anybody who wants to be part of this lovely chat with the creator of VoIP and, of course, our very own Minister of Communications, right? So looking forward, I will be there in that meeting. So looking forward to seeing you guys all there tomorrow. So some other things, the reason why I think that meeting is an extra time is because students from various classes are going to be given the opportunity also to share everything they've learned and what they've done in this 3 weeks in that meeting. So you can share it with the minister, you can share it also with Marion Crook. So that's pretty cool. And so I am going to be forwarding some names from my class. There'll be 2 of you that may be lucky enough. Remember, we have a lot of classes, and it might not work out depending on time. Everything depends on time. You are the older children, though, so I think you'll have a much higher chance because we've taught you a lot more than we have taught in the grade 1 and grade 2. So again, those of you who demo your games tomorrow, you might get a chance to actually present it in that special meeting. So that's some real nice advertising and for you to get your name out there. And who knows what offers you may get for studying and things like that in your future. So looking forward to that. And now we shall see you there tomorrow. Okay, so that's with regards to our program for Friday. Now I want to take you to our lesson for today, and today is game demo day. Okay, Trevor, your hand is up. Let's just take your question before we begin officially. Trevor, you are live with us on Zoom. Good morning, or well, good
Hello,
afternoon.
Sir. Hello, sir.
Hi, Trevor. What's your question?
Sir, tell me, what's your email?
My email. I sent it on the chat.
Oh, okay.
It's on there. Let's look through the chat. You'll find that's the very first message that I sent, right?
Oh, okay.
Okay. Okay, everybody. Now let us begin today. I got some good stuff for you today. I'm not going to teach you anything new. Well, I don't know. You might be able to. Formally, I'm not going to teach you anything. What I am going to do for you today, guess what? I'm calling today Game Demonstration Day. I did ask you to prepare. I gave you lots of stuff that will be able to help you create your own animations and your own game. But over and above that, I'm going to share a couple of games with you. Some of them I have been party to creating. Some of them are projects that were completed by other people some time back. So I can't take credit for all of these creations. They're not all mine. Excuse me. So let's have a look at what we've got. In fact, let me just see if I copy that into this chat. What does it do? Okay. Yeah, I can't quite paste the program there, right? Okay, if anybody wants any of these programs, please send me, put your email address on the chat now, and I will make a block email, and I'll send all of these. Right, we're going to try and look at as many of these as you can. This one was my one, but we will look at these, and I'll give you a copy of it so you can see how the code is working, right? Okay, so let's have a look at this one, which is called the egg catching game. You'll find some interesting things out here, right? And then we'll briefly look at the code. We won't have time to do it. If we want to go through all the games, we can't spend too much time browsing through the code, and I'll share with you and talk to you. Now I'll show you why I chose this one, right? This is simple. All you got to do, this is like a nest, right? And all you got to do is, as the eggs fall, you catch them. Now, what is interesting about this game? Firstly, you'll see that there's a level on the screen, right? So obviously you laugh and say, this is so boring and it's so easy. The eggs are just falling and we're just going to go and catch them. But the reason I wanted to show you this is because you can see there are variables here that are keeping track of how many eggs you catch. Can you see that? Eggs caught 4. How many did we miss? Nothing so far. And of course, we are on level 1. The eggs will start maybe falling a little bit faster and more eggs will fall as the levels progress. You'd also see that the programmer has got a very clever situation here where there is a red line at the bottom. And if you look at this code, you will see that it's saying repeat until it, can you see more eggs are coming down, until it's touching the red. So when an egg touches the red, then the computer knows that you have missed the egg. And you can see it's counting eggs missed. Every time you miss an egg, it counts it, right? Okay, now, also the other thing I want to share with you about this program is that you can see that you move the nest around with the mouse rather than the arrow keys. We could have put left and right arrow keys. The arrow keys actually don't work. You simply move the mouse left and right, and you can see I am moving left, right, and I am able to, the nest follows me. Even if I take the mouse up there, it just follows according to the X value of where the mouse is. So you don't have to even keep the mouse directly on the nest. I'm going to show you that code. So if you want any sprite to follow or move according to the mouse, maybe you might want to include that or fiddle or experiment with that a little bit. Okay, let's just catch a few eggs until we get to level 3, just so you can see what happens if it's fast or slow. As you can see, very, very easy. Maybe a nice, you might be too old for such a simple, boring game, but who knows? Maybe you've got some smaller brothers and sisters. I'm sure if you're like in grade 2 or grade 3, you might find this an interesting game. Now, notice the eggs have gotten smaller, right? Notice. So that's part of the code. When the person has reached level 3, obviously there's code that is making the eggs fall down a little faster. And of course, the eggs are. And now you can see you've got to go very quickly across the end of the screen to catch can you see this one? That was a very tricky one. I had to go very fast. So level 3 is not that easy. And as you go up the levels, you can imagine it's going to get quite difficult. Maybe lots of eggs will fall. Now let's miss an egg on purpose to see what happens there. I thought maybe I'll wait for level 4. Okay, let's let this one drop. Now, can you see it splats? It splats onto the floor. Now, can you see on level 4 the eggs are even smaller? Look at that. Okay, and now there's 2 to catch there. Okay, and so on and so on. Right, so we can stop. Let's stop the program. Eggs caught 52. Oh, it should have 1, 2. Oh, it started. It didn't count that one. Looks like a fried egg on the pavement when it falls. And it's keeping track of our level, right? Oh, the eggs do come fast. So maybe you will enjoy the game when you get to 11-4. Right, now let's stop. Okay, so that is a very simple thing. That's kind of like what we want you to do. Nothing very complex. Again, for your age, even this for your age, grade 7, this is not so easy, right? It just seems simple. Programmers have to work very hard to get even simple things done on the screen, right? Okay, now let's look at the sprite, which is called the nest, right? And let's look at all the code in the sprite, right? Okay, so when the flag is clicked, right, what happens? Both these programs, both these little the algorithms will run at the same time, right? So there is first it'll show the nest, and then it must always go to wherever the mouse is on the X value, and to the Y value minus 112. So can you see that minus 112 is the Y value of the screen here? The programmer always wants the nest to be at this Y value. So the nest cannot go up and the nest cannot go down. It can only move left and right. So the Y value is stuck at that. The X value, there's a variable that they're using for the X value. Now, where does that variable come from? We'll have a look and see, right? Here, the the Y value is set to 100. Also, you can see that the nest is at Y value 100 to begin with, and then it moves when you start the game, and then it's setting the size, right? So I think, can you see set size 100 minus, and there's a calculation here. So the size of the nest also depends on the level, right? You'll find that as the level changes, the nest also will start getting smaller. Okay, the rest of the sprites are the eggs, right? So he's got a number of eggs, and you have to have different ones, because if he's changing the size of the eggs as the game goes along, then you're going to have to do different sprites for that, right? Okay, so here's when the flag is clicked, sets the level, keeps the count. These are all the variables. It's checking the level, checks how many eggs you've caught, and of course, the normal egg is this costume 1. Costume 2 is what happens when an egg gets splat or missed. Can you see? It says, as soon as you are touching red, this color here. So that's how you can use touching colors. You've got to put the colors in. And as soon as the egg touches that color, then it will switch to the smashed costume. And then, of course, it will disappear. Right, this is just keeping track of all the eggs that are being missed or that are being caught. Yeah, lots of code for this. Okay, so yeah, that's the egg game. I said I will thank you for all your email addresses. I can see them coming in, and I will send you all this. You'll have all this code for yourself when I'm done, right? Even if I didn't demo any of the games, I will share the code with you, right? Okay. Trevor, you have another question. We'll give you a chance to ask this because I'm going to move on to the next game now. Trevor, hello, what's your question?
Actually, sir, I didn't have a question. I just don't know why is my hand still raised up.
Oh, sorry. Okay. You didn't put it down. It's no problem. I'll put it down for you. Okay, good. Okay, Trevor, thank you. No problem. Okay, so that's the egg game. Okay. Now let's go back to our games. And I thought you might like this one. Not so difficult also. Okay, I am going to drop the volume because I'm not too sure if it might be very loud if it plays too loudly. Okay, so this is a car game, right? Let's start the game. Okay, so this is just an intro screen. Okay, guys, can you hear that music? Right? So this is just the intro screen, and there's a play button and there's a help button. Now, if you click the help button, the help button tells you how to control the cars. So 2 people can play. Excuse me. Right, the red convertible, you use the buttons 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 to change the speed of the car, and you use the down arrows to press the brake and the left and right arrows to turn. The other person will be on the other side of the keyboard, and you'll use Z, X, C, V, B. I'm not going to use the black car. I'll fiddle around with this car, right? And they say don't drive the car on the grass. So that's the instruction, right? So that's this help button that's on the front of the screen, right? And this is the code for the help button, right? See, it just puts information that's saved on the in a file, and you call it backdrop 2. So that backdrop has all that information on it. It just puts it on the screen. Right, he had to create his own backdrop and load it. Right, if you go to, oh, I don't think the backdrops are here. The backdrops will be in the backdrop section. Okay, now let's go into play and see what happens. Right, so there's your car. I'm just going to use the red car, right? And I'm going to tell you what I'm doing. Right, so it's stationary now, but I'm going to press 1. Can you see? As I press 1, the car starts to move. So if you want it to be easy, you can move slowly. Then I press the what was I supposed to press to turn? I forgot now. Oh, let me go back to the help. Use the down arrow. Use the down arrow to brake, and use the left and right arrows to turn the car. I was using up and down. Right. Okay. So let's use the left and right. Can you see? Left goes up, right takes the car down. Right. So now I'm going to press 1. So the car is moving slowly. I'm very bad at games, right? So I wanted to go up, so I turn the car up. Now I'm brave. Let's press 2 to make it go faster. Then I turn left. Oops, I went off the screen. They just said don't go on the grass. Right, you can see I'm pretty bad. Can you see it's keeping track of what I'm doing there? Right, okay, and I go there. Let's try 3, go a little bit faster. Ooh. Okay, so I'm on the inside track now. Let's go really fast. Oh, right, can you see what happens when you get in the grass? You get stuck. It makes you start again. Makes you go back to the beginning. Let's try 5. Oh, that's really fast. I don't think you can drive the car this fast. Oh, there I am. And I'm in the grass and I'm stuck. So it's kind of like a race. Okay, you play, somebody else will play with the black car, and you can and then race. Well, I think this is supposed to be the black car's track, and it switches when time goes, right? So it's a simple thing. You just click the arrows and use one, and you can control the speed of your car, right? Okay, so let's look at some code for the car, right? We use the red car, so let's look at the red code. Okay. Right, backdrop is simply notice that backdrop with the help. It's hiding that backdrop now because we don't want to see that, right? And then when we are on backdrop number 1, which is the backdrop for the race, wait 3 seconds, and then it changes the timer. You'll see that there's a little timer that's keeping track of the time that you are logged onto the game, right? This is the clip that is checking. I'm going to put it in the front. That if you're touching color green, which is the grass, it's saying glide to this spot here. So it makes you start again. So that's the small piece of code that's still checking when you are on the grass. And I think this code will be the code that's checking what you are pressing, right? We've done bits of this, right? If you actually hit the edge, the car doesn't go off the screen. It'll just bounce back in, right? And then can you see it saying point in direction? And then this is where we've used a forever loop before. What did we do? We controlled the robot. And you can see if whole lot of if questions, because it's checking now. If you press 1, then can you see mph is a variable. It means miles per hour, so it's on level 1. And if you press 2, miles per hour is 2, which will make the car go faster. And I'm sure that obviously there's a delay or something. Let's see how it's doing the speed, right? This here is very fast. Can you see? For 5, it's all 1, 2, 3, 4. But if you press this 5, that variable is set to 10. Not too difficult there. I taught you how to use the if. You might be able to make sense of this code. And if you press the left arrow, then turn 7 degrees. So that's why the car is giving a slight tilt. You notice? Tilt to the left. And if you press the right arrow, it's simply turning 7 degrees to the right. Okay. And if you press the down arrow, he also said down arrow you can brake. So if you press the down arrow, it stops the car, right? And then it's moving so many steps. So it's actually just using steps. So it's actually taking 1 step when MPH is 1, because it's not, see, now we had a move, right? Our normal one is move. We always say move 10 steps. Now, what this programmer has done is created a variable If we go into his variables, you'll see there's his variable here called mph, and that's controlling how fast the car moves. So he's going like very slow, one step at a time. If you press that button 2, it's going to go 2 steps at a time. But if you press 5, it jumps 10 steps at a time. And we've been making things gently move at a pace of 10, and that's it. That's all there is to it. Obviously the other car will have the same code, it's just making the car move. In fact, this game you can program, because almost everything in the set of code is stuff that we did in our classes, that we've shared over the last couple of weeks. And as you might say, oh, it looks funny, but remember, this is just all experiment and learning to control things and use things, and it can be quite interesting. Okay, so okay, people are asking me for the game and everything. Right, I did say on the chat, just put your email addresses. When the lesson is over, I'll I'll open the chat box and make a folder for with all your email addresses, and I promise you, before 3 o'clock, I'll mail everything to you. Right, I'll mail all the games that I showed you today, so you'll have all of it, and plus you'll have the code. Okay, no problem. Okay, any questions about this car game that we've seen now? We all good? Okay. Now let's have a look at a game called what is this? Bouncy Pong. Yes, you can make levels for the game. Obviously, this creator did not do that. And it just kept the game very simple. But yes, you can have levels, and well, I don't know what levels would mean. Maybe the car has to go fast or whatever it is. Okay, now this is a game called Bouncy Pong. Let's first play this thing and see what happens. Okay, this was very, very simple. It was just similar to the nest game and catching eggs, but it's a ball that just simply bounces around. Oh, and I dropped it, right? So my score is 4. I caught the ball 4 times. Let's see. How am I moving the paddle? I'm moving the paddle with the mouse, just like the nest, left and right, and it follows me. It's pretty fast. This is a very simple game. This is a nice one for you to code because there's no levels. I suppose to make levels, you can start slow. This is what I would do if I had levels. I'm doing well now. I did 4 before, but I'm up to 12 now. Okay. So yeah, levels would be like first start a little bit slow, and then as the game progresses, um, you can start making the ball go faster, or maybe you can even start making the ball get smaller. That's what I was doing in mind. Remember, also, this is only one person plays the game, so it's not a multiplayer game, and pretty boring, but simple. Nice code for you. I took it because I said it's simple enough for you to be able to see what is going on, and that's it. I've dropped the ball now. Right. You'll also notice, and let me show you that again. Whenever the pedal, oh, messed that up on 0. Whenever the paddle hits the ball, notice how it goes back up. It always goes back up the same direction. Can you see that? It's not bouncing and going to the other side. It's always going to the right. So that's also very simple coding. The programmer didn't even worry about making the ball turn in a different direction. It's always going onto this side of the screen. I think this is a basic backdrop that's part of Sprite. You can pick anyone, makes the game look a lot more interesting. And let's have a look at the code to see what we can see about this. If we look at the sprites, there's just 3. This is a line. It's using the line, obviously, to see if the ball has, fallen past the pedal, if it's touching the red line. The pedal, look at the pedal movement. How's that for code? Set X to mouse X. So wherever, and that says, that's just saying wherever the mouse value is, set the X value of the pedal. Remember, you're in the pedal code now. I didn't kind of show you this here. Let me show you that in the motions. Okay, this is the X and Y position of a sprite, right? But there is a X and Y position for the mouse as well. I think that's in sensing. Yeah, there we go. In sensing, mouse X and mouse Y will always tell you what the X value and the Y value of the mouse is. So I can move the mouse here, and if I use this oval shaped block here, I can find out where the X value of the mouse is. So what is this code doing? It's just setting the X value of the pedal sprite to the same as the X value of the mouse. So no matter wherever the mouse goes, the pedal also goes. The pedal will just seem to jump there. Let's run the code to see. Can you see? The pedal is not moving at a given speed. If I'm moving the mouse fast, the pedal is just exactly jumping to where the mouse is. It's going exactly with the mouse because of this code here. This code is just setting the pedal value to the same value as the mouse. So yeah, I didn't teach you to code how to do with the mouse, how you can make things move with the mouse. Most people are more comfortable with arrow keys, but look at that. It's a simple block of code, and the pedal simply just moves wherever the mouse moves, right? Let's see what the line does. The line is simple as well. It only needs to know it's touching the ball, right? Can you see? If this line, that sprite is what we are talking about now. So if it's touching the ball, everything stops. That's it. Look at that. It keeps checking to see if the ball is touching it. Then you can see now the program is stopped. So the ball, that's simple code for the line, simple code for the pedal. The ball might have just the most intricate code. Even then, nice code, you can easily pick up on this. Look at that code. Everything we have done. There's a variable here that's keeping score, right? So as soon as the ball is touching the pedal, all this is doing is it's changing the score by 1, adding 1 to the score, right? Now you can see as soon as it touches the pedal, what's happening? It's saying point in direction 45. If you look at it this way, that's a 45-degree angle there. There's your 0, 45 degrees. So that's because he's only saying point in direction 45. The ball is always, you know, bouncing off the pedal and going in that direction. We can change it. Remember how we had random stuff, point in direction, and let's make it pick a number from 30 to let's say 30 to 160. Let's give it a big angle there. Now let's run it. Remember, we edited the code now. Oops, I missed it. Oh, that's crazy. It's harder when you go in those other directions. Right now, can you see those angles that we are getting? Obviously, the game is harder now. And look at that. I missed again. I missed because my mouse is not moving in the way that I want the ball to move. Okay, let's try that one more time. Right, there we go. Right, okay, I'm fed up now. Okay, but as you can see, you can fiddle with these numbers and you can change the angle of the ball. Maybe you can use that to make the game more difficult, right? What else is happening? Okay, that's just when it starts, point in direction, and it just keeps going 15 steps. This code we used as well, whenever it gets onto the edge, it just says bounce. So it'll simply just bounce off the edge. Okay, and this go to random position when the ball starts in different places each time. Can you see? Every time we click start, it starts from a different place because you just said go anywhere on the screen. And so it's very simple. I think you guys can, um, and yeah, I think you can pretty much understand what's happening there. Let me take that off. That wasn't the original code that was in the game. I'll just leave this lying here so you can remember if you want to experiment with this one. You can go ahead and do with that one. So that was pretty cool. So you good with that? Okay, guys, even I think a lot of people are saying you might have made a similar game. Well, remember, I'm proud of you because you would have done it before. I'm only showing you this on the very second last day of our class because, yeah, so if you've done it already, remember you would have done it on your own without actually copying somebody else's code. So that's pretty good. So, and it doesn't matter, you thought of it for yourself. So doesn't matter if you made the same game. The bouncing ball game is quite common. A lot of people want to make that one. I also popped another one in here because This one is multiplayer. So it's obviously allowing, it'll have two paddles. And you can see this one has two, one on the left and the right, not bottom and top. And when you play this one, two players can play, but I forgot what controls them now. Oh, I think W and S, but I can't play. I'm only alone here, so I don't know how I'm going to manage. Try controlling both the pedals myself. Local game. Okay, so that one is there. All right, here we go. And I'm controlling this one and this one. The red one is controlled with WS on the keyboard, and the other one is controlled with the up and down arrow keys. Now the ball is gone on the top there, so lost. Right? This ball doesn't go at much heavy angles. You notice it just goes up and down. And now we've got it off the screen there. Ah, there we go. A little bit of an angle there. Okay, because it's a square. Right? So you can get this and two people can play. And of course, it's very simple. You see how it bounced on the top there? Okay, let's stop the game. Notice also it's keeping track of score. I got this side got bombed out once, this side missed twice. Okay, local, I think he was trying to see if you can host the game on the internet and play with somebody else. That's kind of not coded in here. I looked for that, it's not really. Also look at the look at the sprites. Nothing complicated here. Just one for, that's a pedal. Also, notice when you click on something, a sprite, there's a little, it glows for a few seconds so you can see which, because they all look, you can't even see, it just looks like a shadow. When I click on this one, that one shades up. So you know this one is that pedal and this one is that pedal. Also, these are what's being used to see if this, well, I'm calling it a ball, but it's a square. If the square goes past the pedal, it's going to touch each of these lines. There's one on this side and there's one on that side, right? And of course, this is the ball, right? So the guy decided to use a square ball, and of course the ball moves around. Let's have a look at the code for the ball, right? uh Wait a fraction of a second, ball shows on screen, and it broadcasts, reacts what you have to do, broadcast, sets its size. It's probably, that's the original size. Can you see when you create the sprite, he said set size to 50%, so it's kind of like half of that size now, right? And then rotation, he doesn't want it to rotate. You can also get this thing to turn around if you'd like to. Point in direction 90, so it's pointing this way, and then go to the center of the screen. So when you press this, I think when you first start, you'll see that the ball is center. Always goes to that pedal first, right? Let's see that again. Press play, local game. Can you see that? Starts at the center of the screen and always goes to the right because he said point in direction 90. So the blue guy is always going to hit the ball first, right? Repeat, and he's got this block there called local move. He's created the thing using my blocks, right? Can you see that? And I didn't show you how to use my blocks. That's a little bit complicated. This is what local move does. Move half a step. If it gets to the edge, that edge and this edge, it's going to bounce. If it's touching what pedal number 1, and there's the names here, local pedal 1, local pedal 2. If the ball is touching that pedal, then it says it turns and it picks a random direction. He gave a very small angle. Can you see? The ball doesn't bounce at very big, I'm saying ball, but it's a square. It doesn't bounce at very hectic angle. So here, if you want it to bounce off the pedal at a bigger angle, you can just change these values here. Again, I showed you how to use random and fiddle around. So can you see, it's everybody, whoever you're programming, you've got to make some decisions about how you want it to be, how complex you want it to be. And now it's just simple because we just want you to demonstrate how you use all these things. But if you want to create levels, then you can start increasing these values, increase the speed, and all of that, and then games get harder. But remember, to change levels, you'll have to find some way. When will you change from level 1 to level 2? Are you going to use the score, or you're going to use a timer to check what time it is and whatever? So yeah, so that's the ball. Again, not very difficult code, right? Where it says define local move, you'll notice I had some really long code, right? He did that, and so you can take this out. Okay, if you're not going to use, let me just show you. If you're not going to use the the this your own block, which I didn't teach you how to use, you'll simply take this thing out, and this entire code here will go into that space where it was. So that entire code will go in there, right? The reason he put that local block is because, can you see, he was able to break the code up into two pieces. Without this block, we have some really long code there, right? So yeah, that's the Pong game, right? I'll share this with you as well. We've got time to demonstrate one more game, which is pretty cool. That means almost everything. Load from your computer. Okay, and the last one I wanted to do is save the blobfish. This was an interesting game. Okay, so let's see what happens here, right? Okay, that's the music, and you've got to move this fish from one end of the screen to the other end, right? Okay, so is this the sound? I am just going to I'm going to take the sound file out because it's going to be annoying when I'm trying to talk to you, right? I think that should work. Right, can you see? Now, can you see I just adjusted somebody else's program because I know what it's doing. I took the sound clip out of it, right? Let's make this one bigger. You might like this one. Right, so this guy you've got to time these, this is some trash, and you've got to time it, and you've got to get across the screen, right? So let's time this thing. Let's go there. Then let's wait in the middle for a little bit, and then we can run across the screen, and we've made it. Now it put level 2, right? So those two things are nets. You'll see the second net here, level 2 is more complicated now because this net can only move up and down, but this net can move left and right, so it makes it a little bit harder to move. The fish I'm using the arrow keys to control the fish, so you can go up, down, and I went up now, and let's go across there, and you have eaten trash. Now, can you see what it does? As soon as you eat the trash, it takes you all the way back to level 1, and you've got to start all over again. I didn't like that part of it. And you've got to try and get across the screen. Right, let's see if I can make it past level 2. Oh, I have gotten caught. See what it says? I got caught in the nets. Okay, there we go. I am really bad at this game. There we are. I made it through to level 2. Let's see if I can get past this trash. Oops. Here we are. Oh, look. Oh, I just got caught there. And I'm back on level 1, which is silly. Oh, I made it across. I'm here. Okay, I'm going to try and be a little bit better now. It's not so easy, as you can see. I managed to get away there. There we go. I got through. Right, now I am on level 3. Right, now you can see that piece of trash that's moving around on the screen as well. Oh, and I'm caught in the net. Okay, so it's going to take me all the way down to the previous level again. Right, so let's stop this. All right, so you can play with this thing, and you can see if you can get across. I didn't make it across the screen to the other end, but like I said, I'm going to share this with you so you'll have it for yourself. And let's look at the sprites. Obviously, there's the blowfish. Right, let's look at the code for the fish. There's up arrow, and then there's down arrow. Up arrow is saying change by 13, which means it's going to go up 13. Down arrow change 15. This was the sound. I took the sound out. Yeah, and if it's touching net, now there's lots of nets. Can you see net 1, net 2, net 3? Those are the 3 different nets for the 3 different levels. If it's touching net 1, it says you have been caught in the net. If it's touching net 2, same thing. If it's touching net 3, you put 3 separate codes for the 3 nets. You could have put them all in one if you wanted to. All these ifs could have been in the same section, right? That would have been fine, but it's easier to see all three things, right? Right. If on edge bounce, that means if at any point you hit the edge, you bounce off the edge. Right. If you're touching color, that means if you made it to the end, switch the backdrop to backdrop 2. So he's going to switch to the next level, and it sets him up at the beginning again. And if backdrop name is equal to backdrop 5, it says hide everything. If you're touching net 3, and of course, oh, look at that, lots of code for the blob, because there's just lots of things that can be done. Lots of this code can be simplified. This programmer wrote everything in little pieces instead of one big program, but that's pretty cool. You can look at each piece and see what it does. Let's see what net 1 does. That was the simple net from level 1. Maybe we can get eaten and go to level 1. There we go. We are now at level 1. Right, can you see? If I click there, it's this net here. It's the simple net that goes up and down. Here it is. Its movement is simple. Glide 3 seconds. And the Y value is minus 102 and minus 119. X value is 140. Okay, 1 degree off there. So it's moving 1 degree to the left or right, but you won't notice that because it's only 1 degree. Both of those should have been 140. The net's only going up and down. So it's changing its Y value all the way up to minus 102. Can you see? Even if you look here, it's counting minus 102. It's not going all the way to the bottom. And then it's going all the way up to 119, which is high up there. Right, and then it's just checking. Now you've got separate, all these backdrops are different levels. See, if it's on backdrop 1, then show. If it's on backdrop, if the backdrop is 5 or 4, any of those, can you see it's hiding? Oh, what's happening here? It's just hiding this net. He doesn't want this one to be on the other levels, right? If you go to this net, if the backdrop name is 4, hide. If it is, what's this, 3, hide. And if it's 1, hide. Because this net is a different kind of net. He wants this one to be only show up on backdrop 2, which takes you when you go to level 2. And this is the net that happens or appears on level 3. I'm not on level 3 now. And this is the one that can go in a different in different directions, right? So that's the code for the net. Oh, we didn't see the trash. What does the trash do? Right here, it's just gliding. And again, there's different types of trash. Can you see lots of other trash there? And those are all different for different levels because you want the net to be different. So you can simply design. You don't have to go so complicated with level 1 all the way to level 4 or level 5. Yeah. So here we are simply using the controls. Look at all the code. It's all that you've seen before. If, forever loops, glide, I taught you when we came to the cars. Look at the net. Just if, and then what the net is supposed to do. The blobfish is the only one that has a lot of code, but again, not complicated code because it just has to check which net it is bumping into for it to be able to follow the instructions to start all the way from the beginning again. So I've got 3 minutes to go. I demonstrated quite a few games, all written in MS Zora blocks, easy stuff. Let's pause there and let's check, guys. Any questions? Not via the chat. If you want to ask a question, you can raise your hand. I'll let you talk today. Okay, now as I'm skimming through the chat, I can see so many comments about some people are saying, oh, the ball should go that way. It would be better if it was going in this direction. And now, interestingly enough, you take the game and what you can do to learn is you change the code to make it do what you think is better. What is your comment? How would you like it to be? And I showed you now how I changed that ball's direction from 45 degrees what you call this to I put a random number so it changes and makes it more difficult. So those are all the things that you can do when you are experimenting and you commenting and thinking it should be like this. So the game can go um, what you call this in any way you want. So yes, there's a lot of code here, and the best way to learn is to take this code and start changing things and see what happens. Do things, change numbers, change the values, and uh, then you know you can learn a whole lot of stuff, right? One thing I didn't like about this game is that it had a flaw in the fact that it had this sand out here. And one way of cheating the game is to just always run across on the sand, because the 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 guys, most of those things don't go in the sand. Some of them do, but you can easily beat them. So that was a flaw in the game. Can you see? I'm just kind of cheating the levels because I'm just running across in the sand there. And there we go. I just passed level 5, right? So don't do that. If you're going to play the game, don't cheat on the sand. And I don't know why the programmer put that little sandy. Maybe he had to made you figure out that you can use the sand to cheat and go across. Excuse me. Anyway, we are now out of time. It is 2 o'clock. I hope you had fun. And partly you can see that you can actually play these games. You'll get bored of them quickly, but they're playable. You can have fun with them, and better still, you can even code them yourself. So guys, yes, send me all your email addresses on the chat. Everybody has done so. As soon as I log off this meeting, I am going to send you an email link to all of these games. Have fun, enjoy yourselves. Those of you who have mailed me and you want to be on tomorrow's lesson, please make sure you do that, and I will try to give you a slot in our session for tomorrow. In other words, I hope you enjoyed yourself. You can see that there's some really good stuff that you can do, and it's only been 3 weeks, so imagine if you learn this for and play around with it over a few years, what you can manage. Once again, guys, thank you for being with me today. I want you to have a wonderful Thursday afternoon. I look forward to seeing all your stuff tomorrow. And also, don't forget that special session at 2:30 with Marian Croak and also our minister. Okay, guys, have a good Thursday. I shall see you tomorrow.